welcome, Chag Sameach, Tu Bishvat Sameach. I'm really happy to be a part of this and that you can all join me for this little short Seder that we're doing. So, I don't know if any of you ever done before a Tu Bishvat Seder, but I grew up in it and it can be done in several different ways. There's no really one way to do it, but it's really beautiful and we're accepting this New Year's in a beautiful and the best way that could be, by eating, that's what we do. We even celebrate Tu Bishvat. I'm sure all of you that have joined have been thinking about it a little bit. What is this all about? Why is this any special than any other month? Why Dafka? Why specifically this month? So Tu Bishvat is the beginning of the new year of nature. It's Rosh Hashanah for the trees. It was determined by the sages to determine the age of the fruit of Israel, which is important for the observance of the fruits and tree-related laws. So that is the main reason. But in Israel, you always see the Tu Bishvat. We have the shkidiot that blossom, and we really feel it in the air that it's the exact right moment that this New Year's for nature should be. So it's perfect in many different ways. So it's the holidays for the trees. We call it Chag Lenechiyot. The trees saw that humans got their own Rosh Hashanah, and they wanted as well. They came and said, "It is written in the Torah, the man is a tree of field, ki adam etz hasadeh." Man is compared to trees, and the trees are compared to man. If so, if a man gets a Rosh Hashanah and New Year's, so should the trees. When they were asked, because we need the water, they answered, we want it on Shvat, because that is the month of Aquarius, the month where all the rain comes down, and when all the trees and start to grow again, all the different chaklaut, all the different growing in Israel, we all start to prepare from the winter to the summer. So it's the perfect month for this to be celebrated. It's also a holiday for the environment. There's so many reasons why this holiday is, and everybody can take it for what they connect. And obviously, I very much connect with the environment and with nature. So I truly see this a part of a holiday for the environment. This special holiday for nature emphasizes the importance of preserving nature and the equality of the environment for the animals, for the plants, and for the air, for the serenity and quiet. Tu Bishvat is an opportunity to increase our sensitivity to the trees, to the plants, and to nature bichlal at all. So we can all maybe think and take this holiday to really reflect how we can help this beautiful Bria, this beautiful creation that Hashem gave us. And each person in their own way, but there's so many ways how we can really make this so much better for it. Let's eat. So basically, the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Chassidut, was once visiting the home of Rabbi Yaakov Koppel. And Rabbi Yaakov danced in front of his Shabbos table for an hour. The Baal Shem Tov asked to explain this unusual custom. Rabbi Yaakov replied, "Before I taste the physical food, I absorb the food's spiritual essence. In doing so, I become so excited that I sing and dance. Everything in the physical world is a metaphor for a deeper spiritual concept. Eating is to the body what acknowledge is to the soul. When we eat, we internalize the good part of the food, and through that, we grow and develop. Similarly, when we learn a new piece of information or Torah, we must chew it over. We need to digest it and integrate into our very being. Only then can we truly grow in wisdom and spirituality." I truly think this is so beautiful. A lot of the times we're just coming back from work, we're in a rush, the kids, so many things are going on, and we just eat without even noticing. And that is also what is so beautiful in Judaism, that we have a blessing for every single thing that we eat. We have a blessing before and a blessing after. So we always really have to be mindful and concentrate before we have something into our bodies. And I think the story of the Baal Shem Tov is a really beautiful example to that. So we are going to start with the lechaim, because that's how every good Jewish meal starts. So I hope you all brought your wine with you, and this is also a great moment to see that you brought everything that we asked to bring in order for the Seder. You see, it doesn't have to be too much, it can be quite minimal. And so we're going to start with our lechaim. So lechaim to all of you. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Borei Peri Hagafen. Lechaim, you can have much more than just one sip. Feel free. We're going to eat our grain products. So there's Eretz Chita Usora Vegefen Vetena Verimon Eretz Zeit Shemen Udvash. So you hear this sentence said a lot about Israel, about all the shefa, about all the shefa, I don't know how you say, that we have in Israel. And this is what we start with. We start with something that's made out of wheat, because as we know, really wheat is something that is chaim, it's life. When we say, a lot of the times we have a saying, we say bread is life, because wheat is a very, very basic thing. So we're going to have Ash take a bite from this, because I don't eat wheat. But basically, wheat and barley are the first two of the 7 species that connect us to the greatness land of Israel. So Ash, do you want to join us? Amen. So I hope all of you are not gnashing on some biscuits or cookies or anything fun. And if you're gluten-free, you can also have an oat cookie or anything like that. Now we are moving to Olam Asiyah, the world of action. And we are now going to eat fruits that have inedible shells or peels. For example, different nuts, or pomegranate, oranges, avocado. The edible part of the fruit corresponds to the perfection and purity, while the inedible is connected to the deficiency and impurity. This is a parallel to the realm of action, Asiyah, the lowest of the spiritual worlds, a world which is enveloped by materialism, just as the fruit is enveloped in its peel and shell. So I have here an orange, and we can say Borei Peri Ha'etz, so we can say it together. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Borei Peri Ha'etz. As you toss away the peels and shells, see one of your bad characters, traits, being tossed away. So it's a perfect moment to take and reflect upon ourselves. As we said, it's a new year, so we know that on Rosh Hashanah, we usually reflect on how the year behind us was. So this is a perfect moment to reflect and say, now that I am tossing away the peel of the orange, I am tossing away a trait of mine, a trait that I don't want to carry with me, a trait that I don't want to be with me and reflect who I am. You can see that the real you is the fruit. This is the you, the delicious, the juicy, the orange. This is who you are. The peel, it's not you. And I don't know, I have a few examples in my mind, but maybe you can also think, you can write it down, and truly this is an amazing opportunity to just say one thing. I don't want this anymore in my life. I want the real juicy part in my life. This is also a moment that you can eat maybe some nuts, some cashews. If I'm not mistaken, right Ash, this is also what it's. Yes, so you can also enjoy some nuts. And really feel free to enjoy this fruit as a mitzvah, as being part of connecting to this beautiful holiday. Now we're going to go into Olam HaYetzirah, which is the world of formation. So we're now going to eat fruits that have inedible pits. For example, I have here dates with me, or you can have olives, peaches, plums, cherries, anything that you want. And it's basically the stage we compare it to the formation. So it's the edible parts of the fruit that they represent holiness. So the pits represent impurities, which we are taking the holiness out of it. So here's the date. And maybe if you want to take this time to also imagine how take one bad trait of yours and imagine that it's the seed. And now we are going to take the seed and make this bad trait into a good thing. You're going to grow it into a tree of dates. So we can always do that in everything in our life. We can take something in ourselves that's not a good trait, it's a seed that's in us, and we can grow it into a beautiful tree. We don't need to leave it as a bad trait. So l'chaim l'chaim, I'm going to have a bite for my date, which is also borei peri ha'etz, so I don't need to do another bracha. So if you haven't done the bracha before, this is a good time to do it. Enjoy. We are entering our last world in this little video of ours, which is Olam HaBriya, which is the world of creation. So now we're going to eat fruits that are completely edible. So for examples, I have here grapes, but I'm sure you can think about different ones, maybe blueberries, figs, whatever you can think of. And this is basically the creation, the highest level in the created world. Things are coming close to the full potential. We're like a whole, we're absolutely one. And this is, even the seeds are now edible. So they're not only have the future potential, but they are already now, right now, ready to eat. They are now delicious. So we can all imagine ourselves in that place, using our full potential, being all ourselves, not having to have a klipa, not having to have something that covers ourselves, not having to have a pit that we need to take out of ourselves. Actually to be our whole selves. It's such a beautiful thought. I hope you feel that too and can understand it. So we could really all think about something in our life that is we could think we want to improve, and that's our ideal self. Let's say I know that I want to really be able to impact, to give. So I can think about that and really picture myself doing it. And please God, Bezrat Hashem, next year to Bishvat, we will all be sitting already in the Mashiach and all together in a true Geulah, in a true redemption. So I'm going to take a bite from a grape. You can have much more than a bite. And l'chaim l'chaim. How we finished our official part, but now is the time to nash, to enjoy. It's very, very recommended and common to have different dried fruits. Also to have different brachot. So you can bring peanuts maybe for adama, shakot for chocolate, why not? And really say as many blessings as you can to bring as much light as we can and as much closer as we can for redemption. I'm going to sing you a little song that in my opinion connects all of this holiday together. We're going to put it there so you can also look at the words in Hebrew and in English. But just a little bit of the song, you can see how beautiful it is. דע לך שכל רואה ורואה יש לו ניגון מיוחד משלו. דע לך שכל עשב ועשב יש לו שירה מיוחדת משלו. ומשירת העשבים נעשה ניגון של רועה. כמה יפה ונאה כששומעים השירה שלהם. טוב מאוד להתפלל ביניהם וביראה לעבוד את השם ומשירת העשבים מתעורר הלב ומשתוקק. וכשהלב מן השירה מתעורר ומשתוקק אל ארץ ישראל, אור גדול אזי נמשך ועולה קדושתה של הארץ
עליו
ומשירת העשבים נעשה ניגון של הלב. So I really hope you enjoy yourselves, and I really feel honored to be a part of it. and may we all really next year sit together, but not through Zoom, and to be together and be closer to Mashiach, and maybe already Bezrat Hashem with Mashiach, and redemption, and yalla. And Shikot, thank you guys.